I'm Edward Otto Zelke, and let's queer up gay culture. Pornhub reports surge in trans and femboy searches as anti-trans hostility grows. Pornhub's New Year in Review shows a sharp rise in global demand for trans and femboy content, even as anti-trans sentiment intensifies worldwide. The platform reports that 2025 has been a standout year for LGBTQ+ categories, with lesbian ranking as its top search. Terms like lesbian scissoring rose 79%, lesbian MILF jumped 129%, and lesbian strapon increased 62%. Wow. Trans-led content saw unprecedented momentum, becoming the site's second most viewed category. Femboy entered the world's top 10 search terms and ranked first among Pornhub's gay visitors, with spikes in searches for cute femboy by 79%, sexy femboy by 93%, and femboy hentai by 64%. Interest in trans threesome grew 67%, while trans amateur climbed 49%. Searches for queer and bisexual rose 132 and 88% respectively. Trans Pornhub brand ambassador Natassia Dreams calls the shift groundbreaking. Quote, "What's happening in 2025 is more than just an increase in views. It's a cultural shift. Audiences and the industry are evolving together," end quote. These viewing trends contrast sharply with rising anti-trans hostility. Well, isn't it amazing? You know, it's kind of like everybody's, worrying about the trans people. And here we are on Pornhub all looking it up and getting it off on it.
Right?
It's so wild.
How many of them are Republican and at the convention?
Well, true, but this is a worldwide survey, so obviously we're not centering on a particular country or anything like that, but it speaks to volumes of people that are looking to explore their sexuality and just expand upon that, within their own business. So who's it hurting?
Well, in other, traveling globally, and you go to other countries where like pornography is illegal or it's not readily available, in magazine form and print form. They've had statistics where, places like Pornhub are very well watched. And so when you're seeing that now here in the United States as well, right, we're having this kind of swing where, sexual exploitation and pornography and stuff is now kind of taboo.
Right.
It doesn't surprise me that you're seeing more people getting on their phones and getting on their tablets and hopping on their VPN and searching out for these things.
Yeah.
I think there's also a lot of curiosity as well, because now there's a lot of those terms that were just mentioned are terms that are now becoming more popular and more talked about in our culture. Mm-hmm. And so people are like, oh, I've never heard that term before. So I think there's also a general curiosity. But it doesn't surprise me, right? I mean, porn has been there since the dawn of Adam and Eve. So,
and we'll figure it out, and we'll figure out any means to see it. You know what I mean? Because like here in Florida, where Pornhub was blocked, everybody has a VPN. Everybody shared it. Everybody said, "Go get the shark one. Go get this one." I mean, like this. I mean, I was like, nobody was crying over not being able to see Pornhub because everybody was figuring out a way to see it. But like you boys were like, kind of like talking about. I mean, the same people that are screaming about trans folks are the ones watching them in record numbers.
100%.
Pornhub is reporting these skyrocketing interest in trans and femboy content, a cultural shift driven by curiosity, attraction, and visibility. Like Rex said, you're seeing these terms and you're gonna go seek them out, and then all of a sudden they make you feel a certain kind of way, and you're like, let me revisit that
one.
You know what I mean? So it's like in real life, in public, right? The fascination is no way. We're not even going to tell you that we're okay with you, right? But in private, I'm getting off on you.
I'm wondering if they're making that connection that, maybe trans is such a hot word for so many people that we're now changing the word or, calling things like femboy and stuff just to skirt under that. Or maybe, I don't know, but it's just very interesting to me that we're seeing a rise in all of these things that could possibly, be interpreted as, going, very, what's the word?
Well, you also have like a lot of sexually fluid people, or I've known what was predominantly straight couples, and the husband was being pegged by the wife.
Yeah.
So you do have a lot of that too. So I mean, yes, we have a lot of cultural shifts, but I think some of this is because so much stuff is being pushed back into the closet. So many people are being pushed back in the closet that we're seeking out
different ways.
Well, how about the lesbian? Like the lesbian topics were super skyrocketing when that's always been like a safe space, right? Like, like gays and girls, everybody in between will go, oh, let me look at the threesomes, or let me look at the girl on girl, because that's like,
Maybe it's the straight man.
I mean,
well, I think that's probably the rise in it. I would think is like the straight male that's looking at that, and figuring that that's, something that they like. So yeah, I think that we are seeing a rise in that just for that reason. But
I mean, again, and one last thing, if this helps educate anybody, then I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like, because again, at the end of the day, these stupid people are the ones hating us because they don't understand our world. They don't understand how we live. They don't understand that we are free to love who we want. And if sexually something feels good, we're going to do it. And they want to be like us. You know what I mean? Like,
and we should all just do our own independent research and just go on to Pornhub. Everybody go home and go on to Pornhub and just look at.
Sorry, let me get on my VPN right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right? I mean, let's just take a look at it, shall we?
Oh, I look at it every evening, baby. Don't worry. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.